The Venus-Jupiter conjunction on August 12th will be a powerful time to realize your dreams, to understand what is needed to achieve those dreams, to understand what is blocking you from those dreams, and to finally understand how to manifest or create your dreams into reality, no matter how you define manifestation. This conjunction is the ultimate portal towards manifesting or creating things you truly desire into your life. This won't be without inner work, though. I'm a realist. I know there's no pleasure without pain. But given the benefic and luminary energies dancing in the sky together at this time, the opportunity still exists, and it is an energy that anybody can tap into. And in this video, I will provide a customized step-by-step guide for anyone to tap into this energy based on your birth chart placements. But first, let's explain why this energy is such a potent one for manifestation or creation, or realizing your dreams and understanding what aligned action you can take to make the most out of it. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction is happening in the sign of Cancer, and with Cancer being a moon-ruled sign, it's all about what comes from the heart. It's about what makes your emotional cup feel full. It makes you feel cared for and emotionally inspired. And Venus, well, that's the planet of desire. It shows you what you value, what you love, and it brings the energy of joy and connection and a deep sense of passion into your life. Whereas Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It shows how we grow, how we learn, and how we expand, whether that's internally within ourselves or externally within the world. It can go both ways. And when you combine the planet of desire with the planet of expansion, and you put it in a sign that's driven by our heart center or by what makes us feel emotionally full, you get this beautiful opportunity to expand how we receive our desires. It gives us a chance to expand love, value, and security, which can in turn help us to receive the life we desire. But, there's a catch. While the Venus-Jupiter conjunction itself is unaspected at the moment of the conjunction, we look to the ruler of the conjunction, which being the sign of Cancer, is the moon in Pisces, to get a better idea of what this expansion may look like. And so we see here on the transit chart that the moon, which is the ruler of the conjunction, will be in the sign of Pisces. And as we know, Pisces is a sign that's all about dreams, creativity. It's about a surrender to the energies, to the universe, and to the things that feel like almost ethereal and otherworldly. And it's a beautiful sign that inspires wanderlust and letting our heads swirl in the clouds. And this is exactly what supercharges this Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which could be a key to creation for manifestation or creating the life of your dreams. But just before this exact conjunction, the moon will be in earlier degree Pisces, conjunct the North Node at a certain point. And a bit after the exact conjunction, the moon will be in the sign of Aries alongside Saturn and Neptune in the sign of initiation. Meaning this conjunction isn't just about blindly creating our dreams from a sense of wanderlust and hope, but it's also about shattering the illusions that hold us back from that dream and understanding what action we need to take within this ever-changing world to achieve what it is that we want. You can't achieve without doing sometimes. And this is also supported by the fact that this moon makes an out-of-sign aspect with every single generational planet at the moment of this exact conjunction, in addition to making a trine with a recently stationary and direct Mercury in retrograde. It is worth noting, though, that we do see an opposition to Mars, which shows that being methodical and not rushing when it comes to taking the necessary action will be key. And before we go into why that is, don't worry, I'll explain everything. Let's explain what this video will cover, because we know that's why you're here. In this video, I will go over a formulaic step-by-step guide for all rising signs to help you understand how to use this Venus-Jupiter conjunction to your advantage. And in other words, I'll provide a guide designed to help you manifest or create using this powerful energy, both using the power of your dreams and action taking within reality. Then we will go into your moon sign by sign and house, your natal moon sign, as this conjunction is happening in Cancer and puts your emotions at the forefront. And so learning to understand your emotions, how to listen to them, and how to properly channel them is key to aligning your heart center with your desired path, and your natal moon placement will be relevant to that. I will also go into how the placement of your natal Venus by sign and house can be understood, leaned into, and channeled not only to help you realize what it is you truly desire, but to help you understand what that may look like in the real world and how to channel your passion into the real world. And then finally, I will also, yes, there's a lot, go into your Jupiter placement by sign and house to give you tips and tricks towards expanding your world, your mind, and your life circumstances, whether internally or externally, which can open a portal towards inviting good things in your life as long as this energy is used correctly. And so, yes, there's a lot of information to get into. Get yourself ready, get some popcorn, get a drink, because you're going to need it. And then before we do that though, please give this video a like and subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. It also lets the algorithm know that you love detailed forecast videos and astrology instructionals, and you'll keep getting them in your feed, which can help you live a better life if you use it in that direction. But also go down to the description below, look for all of the timestamps for all of your relevant placements, listen to them, watch them, really take them in, take in the tips and tricks that you need to make the most out of this potent energy. So now let's get into the forecast in 3, 2, 1, go. If you are an Aries rising, then this conjunction asks you to reimagine what home really means to you, not just the place you live, but how safe, supported, and emotionally rooted you feel in your life. It's about understanding the kind of environment you want to build for your future self, emotionally and physically. Start by asking yourself these questions. Where do I feel most emotionally nourished? Who do I feel safe being vulnerable with? And what kind of space do I want to come home to inside and out? And so this is your chance to plant long-term roots based on emotional alignment. Whether it's through redefining family dynamics, creating a more peaceful home, or building inner safety where chaos used to live, you're so supported in dreaming up a grounded emotional foundation for yourself. The moon rules this conjunction and is placed in your 12th house at this time, suggesting that a real clarity comes not through a ton of action, but through quiet reflection. This is about visioning what safety and emotional connection look like from a soul level, free from noise, judgment, or any external pressures. If you ignore the need for stillness, you might feel super confused or emotionally reactive. But if you give yourself space to dream, you can reconnect to a deeper truth. What truly matters to you beneath all the surface level stuff. And ways to access this clarity may be to spend time alone, write your ideal day from the inside out, let your imagination guide you through visualization, or dream journaling. So take what resonates. Some positive things that may happen during this transit is you may receive a grounded, realistic vision for what emotional safety looks like moving forward. You might receive a deeper trust in your inner voice and spiritual instincts, or you might receive a new clarity about the kind of home or foundation you want to build, both physically and emotionally. But some things to watch out for is you may feel emotionally foggy if you avoid inner reflection. You may let others disrupt your solitude or push you into old roles, or you may have a tendency to idealize or romanticize the past without taking steps to evolve from it. If you are a Taurus rising, this conjunction invites you to re-envision how you express yourself, how you think, and who you talk to every day. This is about upgrading your daily rhythms, your conversations, and your mindset into something more nurturing, uplifting, and heart-centered. Ask yourself these questions. What kind of communication feels good to me? What kinds of thoughts make me feel safe, hopeful, or energized? And what type of community do I want to build through my words and my presence? You're being supported in manifesting a reality where your voice matters, your ideas connect, and your everyday life is infused with meaning and emotional ease. The moon rules this conjunction and lands in your 11th house at this time, reminding you that your communication goals should serve a larger purpose. This is about tuning into your dreams for the future, the communities you belong to, and the kind of impact you want to have. Think less about what's trendy or acceptable and more about what truly feels aligned, who supports your growth, and who reminds you of what you're capable of. Ground your vision by imagining the community cause or support system that feels emotionally regenerative or inspiring. Some things that may happen on the positive side is you may receive a renewed vision for your creative projects, voice, or message. You may receive supportive connections that help you bring dreams into form, or you may receive some inspiration to write, write, speak, or teach something emotionally meaningful. But some things to watch out for is feeling disconnected from others in your message if it isn't received right away, maybe doubting your voice or ideas if you're stuck in old patterns of thinking, or even getting overwhelmed by too many directions without a clear focus. If you are a Gemini rising, then this is a moment to get super clear about what truly matters to you financially, emotionally, and energetically, because the second house where the conjunction is happening is all about value, whether self-worth, income, resources, and the tangible things that make you feel safe. This transit asks you these questions. What kind of relationship do I want with money, time, and energy? What kind of work feels both stable and aligned with who I'm becoming? You're being invited to create a reality that supports both emotional richness and material security, not one at the expense of the other. And the moon at this time will be sitting in your 10th house of career visibility and long-term legacy. While the conjunction asks you what you value, the moon is going to ask you, how do I want to be known? What kind of impact do I want to leave behind? And does it align with who I am emotionally? This is about aligning your public presence with your private values so you don't feel like you're performing a version of yourself to succeed. There's real potential now to step into your calling, but only if you define what success means for you. And some good things that may happen at this time is maybe you'll receive a greater alignment between your work income and inner values. Maybe you'll receive emotional clarity about your career or role in the world, or you may receive recognition or leadership opportunities rooted in authenticity. But some things to look out for that may block you from receiving what you want is maybe you doubt your self-worth if external results lag behind, or feeling unseen or emotionally unfulfilled by success if it's misaligned. Or you may have financial or emotional insecurity surfacing if your foundation isn't stable. And so these are things to look out for. If you are a Cancer rising, then this is one of the most personal placements for this transit. This is a big one for you, Cancer rising, because it lights up your sense of self, your body, and your personal presence. You're being asked to dream bigger about who you are becoming and to stop minimizing your emotional, creative, or intuitive gifts. Ask yourself these questions. What kind of presence do I want to embody? What kind of life feels emotionally honest and expansive for me? Because you're manifesting confidence that comes from emotional integrity, not from the ego. And with the moon, your chart ruler, transiting your 9th house at this time, this is calling you to explore your belief systems, knowledge, or worldviews that affirm who you are becoming. You may feel emotionally drawn to philosophy, travel, writing, or spiritual study as a way to ground your emerging self. This is an incredible time to lean into curiosity and emotional expansion. Learning something new or opening up to the unfamiliar experiences could spark a wave of inner confidence for you. Some good things that may happen at this time is you may receive a bold new sense of self that's deeply rooted in emotional clarity, or perhaps a personal breakthrough about your values, beliefs, or identity, or maybe increased magnetism because people are drawn to your emotional authenticity. But some things to look out for that could block you from creating the life of your dreams is self-doubt triggered by growing pains or family patterns, perhaps feeling lost if you don't give yourself permission to outgrow your old self, or emotional overwhelm if you try to change everything at once. If you are a Leo rising, this conjunction encourages you to envision a life where stillness is sacred, not something to feel guilty about. The 12th house is about what's hidden, whether it's rest, healing, dreams, and surrender. You're being asked to step back and examine what parts of your inner world need love, not just productivity. So ask yourself these questions. What would my life look like if I fully trusted in divine timing? Where do I need softness instead of structure? What does emotional freedom feel like when I'm not trying to control everything? This is your time to manifest deep peace, creative replenishment, and emotional healing through solitude, not as an escape, but as an alignment with yourself. At the time of this transit, the moon will be transiting your 8th house, and the moon here asks you to get emotionally honest with yourself about what you're still carrying that isn't yours. The 8th house rules transformation, shared resources, fear, vulnerability, and soul deep merging. So maybe you'll realize that a part of healing your inner world includes letting go of power dynamics, fear-based stories, or emotional debts that keep you tied to the past. And so let your emotional breakthroughs come through truth-telling, first with yourself and then your closest bonds. Some things that may happen during this transit on the positive side is you may receive a powerful emotional breakthrough that frees you from an old fear or dynamic, or maybe you'll receive a lot of deep rest or spiritual clarity that changes how you show up in the world, or you may receive more intimacy in relationships rooted in true emotional honesty. But some things to look out for at this time that can block you from receiving sort of the life that you dream of is emotional avoidance or self-sabotage disguised as processing, or conflict in communication where you're actually just afraid to be vulnerable, or feeling disconnected if you isolate without intention. And so this is some things that you can look forward to or look out for at this time. If you are a Virgo rising, then this conjunction invites you to redefine what it means to belong, because the 11th house where the transit is happening rules friends, networks, goals, causes, society at large, kind of your impact on the world. You're being asked to visualize the kind of future you want to build and who you want to build it with. And so ask yourself these questions. Who inspires me to grow? What kind of communities feel emotionally fulfilling, and what shared vision am I ready to co-create? And so this is your chance to manifest relationships and goals rooted in shared values, emotional connection, and a meaningful contribution to the world. Your heart wants to belong somewhere that reflects who you're becoming. And with the moon transiting your 7th house at this time, this means that your dreams are shaped by the people closest to you, whether it's romantic, platonic, or collaborative. Your relationships are reflecting your emotional needs right back to you at this time. And so the key for creating your dream life at this time is mutual resonance, not compromise, not a performance. What would it look like to be fully seen and supported in your relationships? This is what you're creating. And so let this be a time to tune into the relationships that make you feel softer, clearer, and more aligned with your long-term dreams. Some things to look forward to, or some energies that you're on the right track, is you may manifest a new relationship or a deepening of an existing one that aligns with your emotional goals. You may find inspiring connections that open doors to new opportunities, or you may just receive a renewed sense of purpose through collaboration or shared vision. But some things to look out for, or signs that you're on the wrong track, is that maybe old patterns of people-pleasing or emotional self-editing surfacing in key relationships might happen, or maybe feeling disconnected from your community if it no longer reflects who you are, or difficulty asking for emotional reciprocity if you're too focused on being useful, like maybe you won't ask for help when you need to, and these can lead you to the wrong track. And so that's just some things to look out for. If you are a Libra rising, then this conjunction lights up your career, your leadership, and your public reputation. You're being asked to dream a more emotionally aligned version of your success, one that honors both your gifts and your emotional truth. And so ask yourself these questions. What do I want to be known for? What kind of legacy feels nourishing, not just impressive from the outside point of view? And what kind of work lets me be fully myself? This is your moment to manifest a path where ambition and authenticity coexist, or where recognition doesn't come at the cost of your emotional well-being. And the moon at this time will be transiting in your 6th house. And so while you're focusing on your bigger goals, the moon reminds you of how you live your day-to-day life. And this is truly important in making your success sustainable. The 6th house governs health, routine, work life, and balance, and emotional regulation through structure. And so are your habits supporting your emotional life? Are you giving yourself the nourishment and recovery time you need to show up fully? The big vision only works if the foundation holds up. And so manifesting your public path with how you treat yourself in private is super important. And the 6th house is kind of like the base needed to be in sync in order for the 10th house to shine. And so this is something to remember. And so what may happen in terms of like your manifestation or creation path is you may receive a breakthrough around work or recognition that feels truly earned, or perhaps receive greater clarity on your long-term goals and the habits that will sustain them, or perhaps you'll open a new chapter of leadership, service, or contribution rooted in care. But some things to look out for, or signs that you're kind of on the wrong track or that you need to pivot, is you may receive burnout or emotional numbness if you chase success without that sense of balance. Or maybe you'll feel overlooked if your inner world isn't aligned with your outer goals. Or perhaps you'll have some self-doubt if routines aren't working and you blame yourself rather than adjusting. And so these are the things that you can note for this transit. If you are a Scorpio rising, then this conjunction opens your ninth house of expansion, faith, teaching, truth seeking, and long distance travel. Take what resonates with that. And so you're being invited to reimagine what kind of life philosophy truly feeds your spirit and to allow more emotional resonance in how you think about the future. Maybe you've outgrown old worldviews and now you're craving a new belief system. Maybe a mentor or an adventure that reconnects you to your purpose may show up, because joy is found through big dreaming, spiritual learning, or a meaningful journey that broadens your heart and your mind at the same time. And at the same time, the moon will be transiting your fifth house of creativity, your passion, your romance, and that childlike joy within you. So you're emotionally attuned to pleasure at this time, but in a spiritual or intuitive way. You're not just seeking fun, you're seeking soulful expression. This pairing between your ninth and fifth house says if you want to manifest a bigger life, you must first believe that your unique voice and joy matter. Don't ignore the emotional importance of play and pleasure. Your creativity is the compass for your expansion. And some positive things that may happen is you may fall in love with an idea, a person, or a project that reminds you of why life is worth the emotional risk. There may be a spiritual or educational breakthrough that can light a new path forward, or perhaps a stronger sense of purpose that comes from aligning your beliefs with your unique expression. But some things to look out for is escapism, disillusionment, or performative optimism, which could arise. And so watch for bypassing real emotions with fake positivity, or you may wrestle with an internal doubt around being worthy of expansion or joy, or perhaps you may feel lost or uninspired if you don't allow yourself to be creative or playful. And so those are your reminders at this time. If you are a Sagittarius rising, then this conjunction lands in your 8th house. And so this conjunction will land in your most emotionally intense house, which rules intimacy, transformation, trust, and shared resources. You're being asked to reevaluate how deeply you allow yourself to merge with others, whether it's financially, emotionally, sexually, or spiritually. This is about reclaiming your power by letting yourself feel safe enough to be seen. Manifestation begins when you allow yourself to open up to deep bonds that are true to you, or financial agreements or energetic exchanges that you actually want to create in your life. And so this is something to keep in mind. And at this time, the moon will be transiting your 4th house of home, family, ancestry, and emotional safety. And so you're reconnecting with your roots in some way and potentially rewriting the emotional narratives that you inherited, the ones that you don't want at the very least. And so this moon brings a sense of longing for emotional security, perhaps in ways you haven't fully acknowledged before. And so if the 8th house is about sharing your inner world, then the 4th house moon transit reminds you to anchor that sharing in trust and emotional integrity. And so things that may happen at this time, at least on the positive side, is that you may feel a pull to emotionally bond or share with someone on a deeper level, or perhaps an inheritance could reveal a new path of empowerment. This is only going to apply to some people, so take what resonates with that. Or you could receive deeper emotional security in your family life or home environment, whether that's internally in your brain or externally in the world. But some things to look out for is maybe there's like emotional enmeshments or old fear patterns that may resurface. So use discernment in everything that you do that's emotionally intense at this time. Or perhaps you may see power struggles or control dynamics that may trigger your growth in some way. Or you could see tension between your need for independence and your desire for deep connection. And so it's about receiving a balancing act at this time, and follow the tips on the screen if you kind of want to overcome, the bad things that may happen at this time and create something good out of it. If you are a Capricorn rising, then this Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer will be taking place in your 7th house. This activates the 7th house of one-on-one relationships, romantic, business, or platonic, so take what resonates with that. And you're being shown the emotional shape of the relationships you long for, whether there's mutual care, safety, and deep emotional presence. You may become clearer on what kind of partnership truly feeds your soul, not just like the one that you think you want, but the one you actually want. And so this is a potent time for attracting relationships or healing existing ones that reflect the level of emotional richness you're ready to give and receive. And so the moon at this time will be transiting your third house, which will be bringing emotional attention to communication, your local environment, siblings, and mental patterns. You're craving softness and emotional resonance in the way you speak, learn, and listen. And so this suggests that the quality of your relationships depends on whether your everyday words and conversations feel emotionally safe and validating. And so embracing authentic expression and communications, and also embracing and standing up for what you truly want in your partnerships, is the way to really open up opportunities in your life at this time. And some positive things that may happen is maybe a meaningful relationship or conversation could shift your entire emotional outlook. You may feel a new emotional hunger for being understood in your closest partnerships, or there may be improved communication that brings a sense of emotional security. But some things to look out for is there could be tension between public roles and private intimacy, and these are things that could be pointing towards the fact that there may be something you need to communicate, or perhaps miscommunication or old thought loops could resurface, especially if you avoid emotional honesty, or you could experience feeling emotionally unheard if you don't assert your needs clearly. And so follow the tips on the screen, follow the sort of advice that I've given during this reading, and hopefully that helps you to create the life of your dreams at this time. If you are an Aquarius rising, then this conjunction lights up your 6th house of health, work, daily habits, service, and routines. You're being invited to feel into what life or emotional well-being and sustainable productivity actually listen to me, actually looks like. I know you think you're doing so good when you're being so productive, but you gotta chill. Because what would it mean to have a day-to-day life that really and truly nurtures your body, your time, and your emotional sensitivity? This is something to ask yourself, and this is a beautiful moment to manifest a lifestyle that supports your growth and supports every area of your life, not just drains it, because this will be the key for opportunity for you. And the moon will be transiting your 2nd house at this time, which brings focus on your emotional relationship with security, resources, and self-worth. So your desire for comfort and consistency may feel stronger now, and that's a clue that you're on the right path. Your capacity to build nourishing routines is tied directly to how safe, valuable, and resourced you feel inside. What would it mean to treat your time and energy like something precious, and what would it mean to treat yourself that way as well? Some positive things that may happen at this time is you might feel called to redesign your schedule, heal your body, or find new joy in your work environment. There may be emotional or financial healing that may arise through small supportive shifts in your life, or you could just have a newfound appreciation for your body and your own value, which can open up opportunities for you. But some things to look out for that may block you from creating your dream life at this time is burnout or neglect of your emotional needs, which could catch up to you. And this transit won't let you stay disconnected from your body, so you will feel it. You may struggle with over-idealizing productivity without honoring your emotional limits, or you could feel unmotivated if your daily tasks don't align with your deeper values. And so follow the tips on the screen, follow the tips that I've discussed, and this will be the key to really improving your life at this time. And finally, if you're a Pisces rising, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction will be taking place in your 5th house of creativity, romance, self-expression, and joy. You're being invited to remember what it feels like to live life with emotional richness, passion, and openness. And so this is your chance to dream it into a version of life that feels playful again, like your inner child is steering the ship. Whether it's through art, love, or simply more being than just doing, this is a beautiful time to ask what brings your heart to life. And with the moon transiting your 1st house at this time, this is a deeply, deeply personal transit. That's because the moon is the ruler of Cancer. And so you're emotionally attuned to your own needs, your dreams, and your intuitive rhythms at this time. There's a sense that your joy is no longer optional. It's a part of your identity, your healing, and your reason for being. This moon at the same time as this conjunction says you don't have to ask for permission to create the life that makes your heart sing. And so some things that may happen that may open the door for creation for you this time is maybe you'll experience a romantic, creative, or artistic opportunity, one that mirrors your deepest desires. You may feel more seen, more alive, or more emotionally centered at this time, or perhaps you'll receive a newfound sense of personal power and self-expression. But some things to look out for, or signs that you kind of need to recalibrate to create your dream life, is you might encounter resistance from parts of yourself that still fear being too much, being too sensitive, or too idealistic. Escapism is also tempting at this time, and so stay grounded in real connection, but also you may feel drained if you don't honor your emotional boundaries. And so follow the tips on the screen, follow the tips that I went over, and this will help you truly to embrace and make the most of this energy at this time. If your natal moon is in Aries, you're usually all about action, speed, and direct emotion. You feel very vigorously, if that makes sense. But the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is hitting a sensitive spot. You're being invited to manifest from a place of emotional integrity, not just pure instinct. And this might feel a little bit weird. You could feel tired, sensitive, or emotional impulses might come out of nowhere. And so this transit is asking you to blend your fire with a little bit of water. Your gut feelings, your need to go or begin are still there, but they're a little bit softer now. And the key is to manifest what you desire by leading with compassion for yourself and others. It's about building a life that feels safe emotionally, not just one that's full of constant action. So take time to listen to your emotions instead of just reacting to them. For example, instead of immediately quitting a job that frustrates you, this transit asks you to sit with that feeling. Maybe your frustration isn't about the job itself, but a deeper need for creative fulfillment that can be addressed in a different way. And so take what resonates with those themes. If your natal moon's in Taurus, you're all about stability, comfort, whatever makes you feel safe and secure. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is going to supercharge this. You're being invited to manifest a deeper, more peaceful sense of home and security, no matter how that looks for you. This could show up as a powerful craving for beauty, nature, or just quiet moments where you can feel serene. And this transit is a reminder that what you desire is not just what you own, but it's how you feel on the inside. The emotional resonance for you is that peaceful, full body exhale you feel when you're truly content. This is your cue. Let your values guide your steps, because this energy can help you reawaken dreams of stability and beauty that you thought were off limits. Manifesting for you right now is about choosing peace and emotional alignment over just being comfortable. For example, you might decide to invest in a beautiful piece of art for your home, or spend an entire afternoon in a garden or on your couch in your bed, not just because you have to, but because it truly nourishes your soul. If your natal moon's in Gemini, your emotions are usually processed through your mind. You're a very intellectual feeler. You like to talk it out, intellectualize it, and understand it, even if it's just in your head. But the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is asking you to go a little deeper. You might feel restless or foggy, unable to express what's wrong. This is because your emotional energy of the conjunction is asking you to manifest from your heart, not just your head. The key is to pay attention to those moments where a casual comment makes your heart clench, it feels tight in your chest, or when you write something that surprises even you. That's emotional resonance. You're being invited to manifest a more meaningful and heart-centered daily reality. For instance, instead of just chatting about your day, you might find yourself drawn to writing poetry or keeping a journal to explore your feelings, or you might explore and express the deeper parts of your day you wouldn't normally talk about. You don't have to have it make sense to everybody, just yourself. So use this energy to let your inner storyteller speak from your heart, not just your mind, and you can create so much when you do this. If you have your natal moon in Cancer, this Venus-Jupiter conjunction is a massive emotional event for you. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, and the conjunction is amplifying your natural sensitivity and intuition. So you're being invited to manifest from a place of deep knowing and emotional truth. You might feel everything and everyone at once, and your dreams and intuitions will be on overdrive. And so this is not a time to retreat or hide. This is an opportunity to manifest a life that feels safe, a home
home that feels emotionally solid, and relationships that feel nurturing. The key is to let your emotions wash over you like a river, but don't get lost in them. For example, a powerful dream could show you exactly what you need to release to move forward, or a gut instinct about a person could be uncannily accurate. Your intuition is a superpower right now, but you have to keep it rooted in your own truth. And so this is a time to realign your inner world with your biggest dreams, and you'll start to see it reflect in your external world when you do that. If your natal moon is in Leo, you're all about being seen or shining your light and expressing yourself. I'm a Leo moon too, so I get this. But the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a softer, more private energy to your emotional world. You might feel a quiet longing to be cherished, but with a new sensitivity to rejection, this transit is inviting you to manifest by allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I know what it's like to kind of like fear being too needy. This transit is asking you, let yourself do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Your emotional resonance is that lump in your throat you get when you remember a moment that you felt loved just for being you. The key is to let love guide your creativity. For example, instead of performing for a crowd, you might feel a deep desire to create something beautiful for just one person that you care about, or even just for yourself. This moon energy whispers that your light matters, but it's asking you to share it where it feels true, not just where it's being applauded. So manifesting for you is about finding the courage to express yourself from your heart, not just your ego. And trust me, this is something I'm learning even with my content. And not that I'm like performative, I'm not, but I'm really just letting the emotions out. And if you do the same, perhaps you'll see good results. If your natal moon is in Virgo, you're used to being productive, analytical, and practical, or you could be an overthinker, depending. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a very different energy to your emotional world, and it might feel like an overwhelming tidal wave. You might want to fix everything, but nothing will make sense. You're being invited to manifest by focusing on what heals, not just what works practically. Your emotional resonance is that deep breath you take after helping someone or yourself in a way that felt truly meaningful. And so the key is to let go of overanalyzing every feeling and taking things as they are, because not every emotion needs a diagnosis. And this transit reminds you that rest, forgiveness, and beauty is also super productive, and it wants you to manifest by making those things a priority. So instead of creating that to-do list or trying to like meet an expectation, your best action might be to take a hot bath or spend time in nature, allowing yourself to simply be without needing to fix anything. So focus on what truly nourishes you, not just what is efficient. And when you start doing that more, you can really create the life of your dreams. If your natal moon's in Libra, you're usually about balance, harmony, connection. Your emotions are very reflective. But the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is asking you to choose resonance over surface level peace. You might feel a melancholy sense of longing or a deep need to withdraw from any disharmony in your life. And your emotional resonance is that subtle glow you feel around someone who really gets you, or that grief of being around people who don't. And the key is to not silence your discomfort, just to keep the peace. If something doesn't feel right, honor that feeling without needing proof. For example, if you find yourself feeling drained after a certain social event, this energy is telling you to gracefully remove yourself from that environment rather than forcing yourself to be pleasant. Because true balance isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about manifesting relationships and like events and things in your life that truly sing to your spirit. So use this energy to manifest connections or an inner sense of peace that are emotionally honest and deeply aligned. And it's when you do this, your external world will completely start to shift. If your natal moon is in Scorpio, you're all about emotional depth, intensity, and transformation. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a powerful energy to your emotional world. You're being invited to manifest by letting go. This might feel like something is ending or transforming, and your dreams or fears could intensify at this time. Your emotional resonance is that shiver of truth, that gut moment of release after holding something in for too long. The key is to be still and let what's been buried rise to the surface. Trust that your heart already knows what needs to go. So, for example, you might suddenly feel compelled to clean out your closet, not just your clothes, but items that are tied to old memories that you're ready to release. And so this conjunction is a portal to manifesting a life where emotional honesty is your ultimate guide. It's not about repressing, it's about letting it out. And so let this energy soften your defenses without dissolving your power. Because when you own your own depth, others will follow and the world will start to shape in a way that truly aligns with your soul. If your natal moon is in Sagittarius, your emotional world is driven by a need for freedom, optimism, and meaning. But the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a deep longing for your emotional world. And it might feel like confusion about your direction or a spiritual sense of restlessness. You're being invited to manifest by moving from faith and not from a sense of fear. Your emotional resonance is that flood of feeling that comes to you when you hear something that rings true or see something beautiful. The key is to pay attention to where your fire just fizzles out. That's your soul telling you not this way. For example, you might feel bored or restless in a class or with a pursuit that you thought you loved. And so let that feeling be your guide and chase something that gives you a sense of faith or hope or freedom or excitement. And let awe and wonder guide you towards a new experience that feels expansive and authentic. This is a time to manifest what feels right in your heart, not just what looks good on the outside. And it's when you do that, that the world will open with so many possibilities to create your dream life. If your natal moon is in Capricorn, your emotional world is structured, disciplined, and often shielded. Or you could feel like you have to be strong in some way, even if you do feel very emotionally vibrant. But the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is asking you to manifest by letting your guard down a little bit. You might feel a deep desire to be held emotionally, even if it's hard to admit. You could feel a bit raw under all that armor that you've built up as well. And so your emotional resonance is that comfort you feel from loyalty, the quiet pride of a job done from your heart, or the ache you get when your effort goes unseen. And the key is to let yourself feel without judging it as weakness. For example, you might find yourself wanting to share your deepest concerns with a trusted friend rather than trying to solve them on your own. This is a sign you're on the right track, because a soft heart doesn't make you any less capable, and you don't have to carry the entire world on your shoulders. And so manifesting for you is about creating in a way that feeds your soul, not just your image. And it's when you really ring true to your heart and your emotions and you don't fear letting it out, that the world will truly start to open up with so many possibilities to create the life that you dream. If your natal moon's in Aquarius, you're used to processing emotions with your mind or through ideas or ideals, but the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a very different emotional energy. You'll probably feel a heightened sensitivity to collective energy, picking up on the emotions of the world around you. You might feel everything, but be unsure of what feeling actually belongs to you. And so your emotional resonance is a sudden cry during a documentary or an unexpected pull to help a stranger. That's your heart talking when you truly resonate with the feelings of the collective and the feelings of yourself. And when you let it express out, that is the key, because the key is to get quiet enough to separate the noise of what doesn't belong to you from your soul's real voice. For example, you might feel a sudden urge to volunteer for a cause or start a group dedicated to a certain issue because the emotions behind it feel so real to you. And so manifesting for you isn't about letting this energy pull you towards people or causes that feel emotionally unaligned. It's about being aligned. And so intellect alone isn't going to cut it right now. Your path has to feel meaningful, and it's when you do what feels meaningful, no matter in what area of life, that the world will start to reflect back on you and you can create the life of your dreams. And finally, if you are a moon in Pisces, this Venus-Jupiter conjunction is your moment, because the transit moon will also be in moon in Pisces. It's happening during your lunar return, which will mark a big trademark time for you. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, and the conjunction is amplifying your natural emotional openness. You're being invited to manifest by fully leaning into who you are. So get ready for a full tidal wave of everything to come to you. You might feel psychic, sensitive, exhausted, and raw, but in a beautiful way. Your emotional resonance is that sigh of surrender, the beauty that makes you tear up, or that undeniable pull towards something you can't explain but also can't ignore. And the good news is you're probably already listening because you are so emotionally in tune. Even if you kind of reject it, you already know what your emotions are telling you. It's right there. So just be extra careful not to confuse old wounds with fresh intuition, but also ground yourself gently at this time. For instance, if you feel a strong pull towards a new creative project, really take it seriously because it's your intuition speaking. Your intuition will be so loud at this time. You were basically made for this conjunction, and the moon being in Pisces really amplifies that. So let it guide you towards a life that truly moves you, not just the one that you're supposed to live. If you feel any calling or strong urge, don't repress it, really lean to it. And it's when you do that you can create the life of your dreams. If your natal moon is in the first house, welcome to the club, then your emotional world is all about who you are and how you show up. Your feelings are raw, direct, and woven into the very fabric of your personality, making them impossible to hide. This Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is amplifying this, pouring a warm, nurturing energy into your sense of self. This is your moment to create a greater sense of emotional authenticity by making choices that feel good to your soul, not just to your ego. To create this energy, you can consciously build a personal style that makes you feel both comfortable and powerful from the inside out. You might find yourself speaking from the heart in situations where you normally hold back, and that vulnerability feels incredibly freeing. You're actively creating an emotional home right there in your own skin, and this new level of confidence gives you a powerful and magnetic presence that others can't help but be drawn to. It's a time to be seen for who you truly are, all in your emotional honesty. If your natal moon's in your second house, then your emotional well-being is connected to your security, your values, your money or finances, or your self-worth. Take what resonates with that. You find comfort in stability and abundance, and your feelings are a compass for what you truly value. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a gentle rain, nurturing a deep desire for abundance that feels good to your soul. This isn't just about accumulating things, it's about feeling truly nourished and safe and secure in your own skin. To create with this transit, you should actively invest in things that bring emotional comfort and beauty into your life, whether it's high-quality food or art, or even just a sense of peace and love into your life. Bring whatever it takes. And this is a powerful time to create financial security that is rooted in your emotional values. For example, if you have extra money, you don't need to use it for flashy things, but for a beautiful piece of furniture that makes your home feel like a sanctuary, or a savings account that makes you feel secure. You're consciously creating abundance that truly fills your soul, and that feeling of deep security is priceless and unshakable, giving you a strong sense of personal worth at this time. If your natal moon's in your third house, your emotional world is a fast-moving river of thoughts and daily interactions. You process your feelings by talking them out, potentially, or thinking them out, and your sense of security comes from being connected to your immediate environment. This Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a soft, heartfelt resonance to this. To create with this energy, you can actively start conversations with people that you care about or with yourself to deepen your bond and mental understanding. You might also find yourself being the person who offers a listening ear or a word of encouragement, bringing a new level of warmth into your daily life. This is a great time to create clearer, more compassionate communication that fosters emotional healing, because your words have the power to create a supportive network around you, and these small acts of connection make your whole world feel more meaningful and connected. You're building bridges with every conversation, and that is how you'll create that at this time. If your natal moon's in your 4th house, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is like a powerful homecoming in a way, because your deepest sense of security is found within your home, family, roots, or your emotional self feeling safe and secure. This transit is a major emotional event for you, inviting you to create a deeper sense of peace and joy within your domestic world, no matter how that looks. You might feel a strong, almost undeniable pull to nurture your loved ones, to create a more harmonious living space, or to finally reconnect with your heritage, no matter how that looks. And so to create with this energy, you can consciously maybe redecorate a room to make it a true sanctuary, or maybe you can start a new family tradition that brings everyone closer, or you can actively reconnect with your heritage or your innermost self by cooking like a meal, or even just embracing it from an emotional level. You're giving yourself the tools to actively fortify your emotional foundation, building a safe haven that supports you from the inside out and acts as a refuge from the world. If your natal moon's in the 5th house, your joy is deeply connected to creative expression, romance, and play, however that looks, so take what resonates with that. Your emotions are dramatic and expressive, and they seek an outlet in the world. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is flooding this house with a soft, nurturing light, amplifying your desires for joy and heartfelt connections. To create with this energy, you can actively start a new creative project that is more personal than anything you've done before. Or in romance, if that's something that resonates with you, you can intentionally plan a date night that prioritizes heartfelt moments over grand gestures, like a quiet evening in with a shared meal. And this can be with new dates or your current partner, whatever resonates. And this is a time to create more fun in general, or romance if that resonates, and creative fulfillment by letting your heart lead the way, consciously creating moments of joy that feel authentic and deeply satisfying. You're learning to express yourself in a way that feels both powerfully and genuinely vulnerable beyond a need for applause. If your natal moon's in the 6th house, your emotional well-being is closely linked to your daily routines, your health, your work life, your day-to-day life, essentially. So take what resonates with that. You find security within order and productivity. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is bringing a different energy, encouraging you to prioritize care and emotional nourishment. To create with this energy, you can actively build daily habits that honor your emotional rhythms and physical needs. For example, you might consciously start your day with a calming ritual like meditation or journaling, or you might intentionally set a firm boundary at work that protects your mental health. This transit reminds you that your well-being is the most productive thing you can invest in right now. And even a small change to your daily routine can have a huge impact on your overall emotional and physical health, which can help you create the life of your dreams. If your natal moon is in the 7th house, your emotional world is deeply intertwined within your one-on-one relationships. You find security and connection and seeking emotional balance through others, whether it's romantic, platonic, take what resonates with that. And so the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is going to make you want emotional harmony and deeper understanding more than ever. And so to create with this energy, you can actively work to create more balanced and supportive partnerships. For example, you might feel compelled to have a difficult but necessary conversation with a partner that brings you closer together. You might also consciously seek out people who make you feel seen and safe, and then actively nurture those new connections. Instead of relying on them as a crutch, they might actually be more heartfelt at this time. And this is a significant time to create relationships that truly nourish your soul, so you can feel like you are truly supported and not just going through the motions. You're building a foundation of emotional honesty, and it's when you do that that you can create the life of your dreams. If your moon is in the 8th house, your emotions run deep and are often connected to transformation and intimacy. You have very intense emotions with this placement. You find security in facing the shadows and exploring the unseen. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is likely to stir up powerful emotional undercurrents, shining a loving light on areas of your life that need to be healed. To create with this energy, you can actively engage in a practice of letting go. This is like an active thing you have to do at this time. For example, you might perform a simple ritual to release an old hurt, or you might choose to be more vulnerable with a trusted partner than ever before. And so this is a potent time to create emotional healing and empowerment by consciously embracing your depths, which in turn unlocks a new kind of personal power and a deep capacity for authentic intimacy. And this is where you find strength and surrender, and it's when you do this that the possibilities of your life will truly begin to unlock. If your natal moon's in the 9th house, your heart seeks expansion through meaning, beliefs, could be travel if that's resonant for you, and higher learning. Your emotions are tied to a sense of purpose and a desire to see the bigger picture. And this Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer emphasizes nurturing and emotional understanding, and this is likely to feel a desire to find a personal emotional resonance within your beliefs. And so to create with this energy, you can actively, for example, plan a trip to a place that's always fascinated you, not just for a vacation, but a journey of personal growth. But if travel's not in the plans, which trust me, I get it, you might also consciously get into a new philosophy or a spiritual practice because it speaks directly to your heart and not just your mind. And so this is about finding a personal truth, not an intellectual one, and letting it guide your path towards a more expansive life. Your inner world is ready to explore, and it's when you do this that you'll see it reflected back to you in the outer world. If your natal moon's in the 10th house, your emotional world is connected to your career and your purpose in life in some way. You want to really achieve something and to find security in your achievements and your public role. This Venus and Jupiter conjunction in Cancer is highlighting themes of home and emotional foundations, and this is likely to influence how you approach your professional life. And so to create with this energy, you can actively bring more heart and care into your career. For example, instead of focusing on getting ahead, you might intentionally start a mentorship program or lead a team with more compassion or empathy. Or you could honestly, maybe you'll realize what career path you want to take, whether you're staying within like a similar field, but you want to like advance in a different way, or you want to pivot entirely. And it's about taking the steps to do that. And so this is a significant time to create a career path that not only aligns with your ambitions, but also truly feels right in your heart, bringing both external success and deep emotional fulfillment that makes your work feel meaningful. And it's when you at least embrace this and start embracing your authentic desires that you can create the life of your dreams. If your natal moon's in the 11th house, your emotions are linked either to your friendships, your groups, and your hopes and dreams for the future or society. You find security and belonging to a larger community or like the big picture in some way. And the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in Cancer, which is emphasizing connection and nurturing energy at this time, is likely to amplify your desire to build meaningful connections that will actually make a difference in this world. And so to create with this energy, you can actively create a supportive and inspiring social circle built on shared emotional values, or you can at least pursue like your dreams and bigger image of society in any way that emotionally resonates. For example, you might intentionally reach out to new people who share your passions, or you might join a community organization that helps others. And so this transit is all about finding a sense of emotional home in the people or vision that you share for the future and creating a feeling of true belonging that makes you feel seen and valued. You're building your emotional family or your emotional home, no matter how that looks to you. And it's when you start to do that that you can truly live the life of your dreams. And if your natal moon's in the 12th house, your emotional world is the most hidden, sensitive, and intuitive. Your feelings may be private, like a vast ocean in some way, and the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer, which is highlighting emotional depth and healing, is likely to amplify your sense of empathy at this time. And so to create with this energy, you can actively create more time for solitude and spiritual practices that allow you to process and renew your emotional well-being from a true level. For example, you might intentionally dedicate time to meditation or journaling to gain deeper insight into a long-held emotion that you can't really put your finger on. And so this transit reminds you that your inner world is a sacred space, and tending to it is the most important work right now, as it is the source of all your creativity, intuition, and deep sense of self. You're learning to trust the unseen, and it's when you truly do this that you can create the life of your dreams. For my Venus in Aries, how you experience desire is fast, passionate, and driven by raw, instinctual energy. You often know what you want before you fully thought it through. There is this sense of urgency in you to pursue, initiate, and conquer, but that desire can burn out just as fast as it's ignited. The thing is, this Cancer energy is bringing a new kind of softness, sensitivity, and emotional context, which might feel unfamiliar or even frustrating at first. And this transit is asking you to slow down, to really feel your desires before you act on them, and let your instincts meet your emotional truth. And instead of just chasing sparks, you're being shown what truly sustains your fire. And so how do you tell the real thing from a red herring? The red herring is anything that only excites you in the moment, but leaves you feeling empty after you win it, whether it's people, goals, aesthetics that feel like competition, rather than something that feeds your spirit. Now, true desire, on the other hand, will actually calm you after it excites you. It will feel like this makes me feel more like myself. And so to channel this, try combining your independence with emotional vulnerability. For example, initiate a creative project that expresses something real about your emotional history, and let your desire to protect what you love fuel your action, and be the one who takes the lead in spaces where emotional safety is needed, not just the one who wins. So take what resonates with that. If your natal Venus is in Taurus, your desire is for beauty, pleasure, comfort, and or long-term stability. You're at home with this energy. Your desires grow slowly, like roots deepening over time. You're not easily swayed by trends either. Your wants tend to be deeply consistent and sensory. And with this Jupiter conjunction with Venus in Cancer, your desires for emotional safety and aesthetic stability are emerging in a deep way. There's a pull to build your dream life around softness, nourishment, and belonging. It's not just about what looks good, it's about what feels like home to you. A red herring for you will be that something only appeals to the surface, like luxury that lacks warmth, or a relationship that feels materially secure but emotionally vacant. True desire will feel like warmth in your chest, or like it's a safe haven. You'll feel peaceful just imagining it long term. And to channel this passion, focus on building a physical or emotional environment that feels like a sanctuary. And so invest in creating things that last, whether it's a piece of music, maybe a meal, or a body of work that truly reflects your values, or even just like a routine, whatever resonates. And so let your natural sensuality be a source of healing for yourself and others through your senses, whether it's touch, taste, scent, sound, or just a sense of stillness. If your natal Venus is in Gemini, the way you experience desire is through stimulation, connection, and novelty. Venus in Gemini is endlessly curious. You fall in love through words, laughter, and the feeling of being understood on multiple levels. But the thing is, your desires could change quickly because you're always evolving. And this Cancer energy slows you down and invites you to nurture fewer but deeper desires. The Jupiter expansion helps you to identify the roots of your needs rather than just bouncing between ideas. This is about listening to your inner voice, not just external conversations. And how do you tell the difference? A red herring for you is anything that excites your mind but leaves your heart behind, whether it's connections that are witty but not emotionally safe, or opportunities that sound good but don't really ground you. And so real desire will feel like an idea that keeps calling you back, not out of excitement, but from a place of emotional resonance. And so to channel this, you can try writing or speaking your way into emotional clarity so you know what you actually want, whether through journaling, storytelling, content creation, or just talking to someone you love or talking to yourself can help you to feel your desires more fully. So let your creativity take a slower, more nourishing pace, because you don't have to rush to the next idea. And build relationships with people who listen with their hearts, not just their minds, and make sure you offer the same in return. Venus in Cancer, this craves emotional intimacy, safety, and a deep feeling of belonging. Your desires are often centered around connection, protection, and shared emotional space. You want to care and to be cared for. For you, desire is less about attraction and more about emotional memory. You fall in love with how someone or something makes you feel at home, how it makes you feel safe or loved. The great news is the conjunction is a natural amplification of your own energy. Jupiter is expanding your capacity for love, self-worth, and emotional expression, and may bring an opportunity not to just feel, but to create what home truly means for you. You're being asked to nurture your dreams the same way you nurture someone you love. And so how do you tell the real thing from a red herring? A red herring is a longing that's rooted in past wounds or nostalgia, not your actual present needs. And so be careful not to chase the comfort of the past when your soul is asking you to build something new. Because true desires will feel grounding, warm, and expansive. It won't just comfort you, it'll help you grow. And so to channel this, create safe emotional containers or settings or like home little biomes, I don't know what to call it, whether it's through art or relationships or physical spaces. Build places where you and others can feel emotionally seen, and channel your nurturing instincts into something that lasts, like a home project, a story, or a tradition, and let your intuition lead. If something makes you feel calm, clear, and lovingly energized, it's likely aligned with your soul. If your natal Venus is in Leo, you want to be adored, celebrated, and fully expressed, and you want to give the same back. Your desires are bold, radiant, and often tied to your sense of identity. You crave romance or beauty and creative visibility. Take what resonates with that, and your desire to shine in your own way while also making others feel lit up too. The Cancer energy, however, will soften your bold heart and ask you to bring emotional truth into your creative expression. It's not just about being seen, it's about being seen deeply and truly. This is a time to align your outer glow with your inner tenderness. Jupiter brings opportunities for heartfelt recognition and soulful creativity. But a red herring is attention without intimacy or glamour without substance. If it flatters your ego but doesn't feed your heart, it's probably not the real thing. And so true desire will feel like your heart is wide open but safe, like something or someone sees the real you and reflects it back with love. And so to channel this, infuse your art or your style or your presence or your actions with personal memory and emotional truth, and let your creativity be both a performance and sort of like a ritual or a prayer, something that connects, not just impresses others. And prioritize spaces where your vulnerability is welcome, not just like your sparkle or what you offer on the surface level. If your Venus is in Virgo, you desire to refine, improve, and serve what you love. You find beauty in details, devotion, and sincerity. Your desire comes through care, whether it's through small acts, thoughtful rituals, and consistency in your passions. You want to feel useful to what you love, and this Cancer energy is making your grounded devotion more emotionally intuitive. Jupiter is asking you to soften into receiving love as much as you give it. You're being reminded that emotional safety is built through both action and presence in the moment. This is a powerful healing available to you here and now if you can see your care as enough. A red herring is any kind of situation that makes you feel like you have to earn love through being perfect, and real desire feels easeful, kind, and organically mutual, like love or creativity that doesn't need fixing, it just needs nourishing. And so to channel this, focus on daily practices that gently align your life with what matters to you emotionally, and let your desire to help also include helping yourself heal. And create something that celebrates imperfection, whether it's a piece of writing, a relationship, or a home that feels real, not just ideal. And when you celebrate this, you'll find that the world of opportunity will start to open up. If you have natal Venus in Libra, you may seek harmony or partnership or beauty and mutual reflection. You fall in love with either aesthetics or idealism or the feeling of intellectual and emotional balance. Desire feels like grace, connection, and mutual magnetism. The Cancer energy, though, is drawing you inward, asking you to feel your own needs before you try to meet someone else's. Jupiter is expanding your ability to recognize when your longing for harmony is genuine versus when it's just avoiding conflict. This is a time to align your external beauty with your inner emotional sense of integrity. And a red herring is anything that keeps the peace at the expense of your own feelings. So situations where you suppress your truth to maintain balance. And true desire will feel like equal emotional exchange, where softness and harmony and honesty can coexist. And so to channel this, let your sense of beauty reflect your personal emotional journey, not just what others will admire, and invest in relationships that let you be both honest and held. And channel your creativity into partnerships or designs that feel like emotional collaboration, or really channel your passions into something where harmony can be established, however you define that. And it's when you do that that you'll find life fulfilling and opportunities will open to you. If you have Venus in Scorpio, welcome to the club. Your desire burns deep. You desire intensity, transformation, and soul level merging. Your wants are rarely surface level. You crave the raw, the hidden, and the powerful. You fall in love with depth, secrecy, and emotional truth that cannot be faked. You don't like the fake stuff, the surface level. You want it to be real and you need proof. And so the Cancer energy is asking you to soften your emotional defenses and allow in nourishment, not just intensity. And Jupiter is helping you explore what emotional safety feels like without losing your deep sense of passion. And this is a time to build intimacy from softness, not just from a survival mechanism. A red herring is a connection or a goal that stimulates obsession, but not safety, or the thrill without trust. And true desire feels vulnerable and safe at the same time. You can let go of control and still be held. And so to channel this, let your creativity be a space for emotional alchemy. Transmute this pain or fear into something healing, and open slowly to people or projects that make you feel emotionally secure. And trust that not all softness is weakness. Sometimes it's the bravest thing you can offer, and it'll allow for even more deepness to enter your life. With Venus and Sagittarius, you want expansion, truth, freedom, and discovery. You experience desire through vision, imagining what's possible, chasing the horizon, and aligning with experiences that feel spiritually or philosophically exciting. You love to fall in love with ideas, cultures, and possibilities. Take what resonates with that. And the Cancer energy, however, is here to root your restless spirit. Jupiter is helping you explore the emotional dimension of freedom, not just movement, but belonging. You're learning that true expansion also requires intimacy, memory, and grounding. A red herring is a shiny future that helps you escape the present, whether big dreams with no emotional anchor, or just something that really makes you distracted in the moment but doesn't feel fulfilling. And true desire comes from the heart and feels like something that grows with you rather than something that pulls you away from yourself. And so to channel this, blend your thirst for adventure and excitement with emotional storytelling. Travel inward as well as outward. What beliefs or desires were passed down through your emotional lineage, and what emotions are you really escaping, and where do they come from? And so create or seek meaning that feels both expansive and emotionally safe at the same time. And you will really open up the door of possibilities when you do this. Venus in Capricorn desires commitment, structure, and legacy. You often express love through reliability, long-term planning, and quiet protection. Your wants are slow to build, but deeply enduring. You want something that stands the test of time and has a solid foundation. The Cancer energy is asking you to soften your grip. Jupiter is expanding your capacity for emotional receptivity, not just responsibility. This is a time to let yourself be held, not just needed. You're being invited to build from the heart, not just the head. A red herring at this time is a desire for control or recognition that masks emotional hunger. And true desire will feel like mutual, emotional investment, not just duty or status. And so to channel this energy into your life, create rituals or structures that support emotional connection, whether in your home, through art, or in your relationships. And let your protective instincts nurture a sense of softness, not suppress it, and build your dreams with the heart at the center, not just strategy. You can build a fortress around the heart, but truly let the heart shine. And that's when you'll truly begin to unlock the life of your dreams. With Venus in Aquarius, you want freedom, authenticity, and meaningful difference. You fall in love with minds, ideas, and visions of the future. You desire connection that honors individuality or relationships where no one owns the other. The Cancer energy is here to remind you that even the most independent souls need emotional grounding from time to time, and Jupiter is expanding your ability to emotionally attach without losing your autonomy. This is a time to soften your guard and let belonging feel safe, but a red herring is maybe an idea or a person that feels exciting but disconnected. It's more conceptually good than like filled with the heart. And true desire will feel like a shared emotional reality, not just shared values. And so to channel this, ground your visions in emotional resonance. Make your ideas feel like home and allow your creative or relational expressions to include your emotional needs, not just your ideals, and let people know how to love the real you, not just the cool or the cerebral one or the one who doesn't care. And so take what resonates with that. And if your natal Venus is in Pisces, with Venus in Pisces, you desire transcendence, fantasy, and soul union. You long for the ineffable, love that dissolves boundaries, or beauty that feels like a dream. Your desires are poetic, fluid, and often spiritually infused. You crave emotional surrender, or art that moves you, and experiences that feel both mystical and deeply tender. This Cancer energy helps you to bring your dreamy visions into emotional embodiment. Jupiter invites you to ground your imagination into something that's tangible and safe. It's not just about feeling it, it's about living it. This is a time for your spiritual desires to find a home in the real world through emotional safety, rituals of devotion, and compassionate connection. A red herring, though, is that fantasy keeps you floating but not rooted, or love or art that feels magical but has really no sense of safety or mutual presence. It may feel intoxicating but leave you unheld. True desire feels like a dream you can touch, something that holds you, not just lifts you. It will feel soft and safe, idealistic, and emotionally grounded. And so to channel this, create beauty that comes from your real emotional experiences, not just your imagination. Let your art or your love or healing be a translation of what you've felt, not just what you've dreamt of. And invite spirit into your home, body, and heart in such grounded ways, either through rituals or water or movement, music, or even like prayer or anything ritualistic. And let your love be both divine and human at the same time. It's not just about escaping, it's about letting your wanderlust sort of be implemented in reality as well, even if it's messy or raw or real, because it still is sacred. And so the magic lies in embodiment into your real life, not just escaping. And it's when you do that that your dreams, you'll find magic coming to you. With Venus in your first house, you channel desire through your very presence, your body, and your personality. You're magnetic without even trying, and what you want often seems to come to you, even if it takes some trial and error, because I know a lot of people with Venus in their first house say, hey, I'm not like pretty, or hey, I'm not this, and that. You're more magnetic than you realize, but it also teaches you how to hold, define, and embody your desire. Your wants are directly tied to your identity, and this Cancer energy is deepening your connection to your emotional self-image. You're being called to align how you look and move through the world with what truly nurtures you. Jupiter is expanding your ability to express beauty and receive love, but it's asking that this comes from a place of self-belonging, not just a need for approval. A red herring for you is anything that looks good on you but doesn't feel good within your soul. And so a true desire will make you feel at home in your body, not just admired by others. And so channel your passion by expressing your feelings through how you present yourself to the world, through movement or physical rituals, and invest in clothes or body work or habits that make your body feel cared for and make yourself the emotional home that you're seeking. If your Venus is in the second house, for you, desire becomes tangible because Venus in your second house expresses your wants through security, ownership, and value. You crave what you can build, protect, or touch, and this includes both material goods and your deep sense of self-worth. This transit activates an emotional connection to what you own versus what you build. Jupiter is expanding your sense of value and reminding you that your worth isn't about what you produce, it's about what sustains and soothes your soul. A red herring is that anything you think you should want for success or comfort but which lacks emotional nourishment really isn't for you. And true desire makes you feel safe and alive. It feels like investing in something that feeds your spirit. So build your financial or creative life around what feels emotionally fulfilling to you, and surround yourself with beauty that feels soulful, not just expensive or not just like you think it's going to fill your worth, but it doesn't. And let your worth be self-derived and not externally priced. With Venus in your third house, you express desires through words, curiosity, learning, and everyday connection. You want communication that feels beautiful, ideas that stimulate, and relationships that feel both light and emotionally alive. This Cancer energy is softening your voice and bringing feeling into your daily life. Jupiter may bring emotional resonance to your writing, teaching, or your daily conversations or your thoughts. The goal isn't just to be clever, it's about being understood and emotionally heard. And a red herring when it comes to your passions is when something stimulates your mind but bypasses your heart. And true desire will feel like your words are landing deeply, but you feel connected, not just entertained. And to channel this passion properly, speak and write and think from a sense of emotional memory. Build closer bonds with people who you are close to through your heartfelt connections, and let your daily life be infused with true emotional meaning at this time. With your natal Venus in your fourth house, this is the house of home, roots, and emotional memory. And Venus here desires deep belonging, emotional safety, and comfort. You often express your passions through the home or your private emotional world. I'm a Venus in the fourth house. It doesn't just mean you like home. It means that you feel safe and you express your passion through your innermost self. And this transit with Cancer intensifies your desire to feel emotionally secure and known. And Jupiter is expanding your emotional legacy, what you inherit, what you pass on, and how you create love behind the scenes. A red herring for you is nostalgia or comfort that keeps you stuck and not moving forward. And true desire invites you to build emotional safety that grows with you, not cages you. And so create or beautify your home or your inner landscape to reflect your inner world from an authentic level, and connect with ancestry or inner child healing if that's needed, and let your love feel like a warm, evolving nest that truly holds you close. If you have natal Venus in your fifth house, this wants to create, play, love, and be adored in some way. No matter how that looks for you, it'll differ depending on the sign. And you channel desire through romance, art, self-expression, and childlike joy. You crave fun that feels deeply fulfilling. This transit with Jupiter and Venus in Cancer adds emotional vulnerability to your bold creativity. Jupiter is expanding your artistic or romantic expression, but reminds you to lead with heart, not just like doing it because you think you have to. And a red herring is a desire to be loved for your image or entertainment value and not your true soul, or you put something out that you think others will like, but it's not true to you. And true desire will feel like very intimate and joyful to you. It's like love that sees your soul, not just how you show up and shine in the world. And so to channel this passion, create from a sense of emotional truth, not just aesthetic flair, and let romance be emotionally generous, not just exciting. And trust that joy will heal others too, and that will reflect back onto you. If your natal Venus is in the sixth house, you express passion through care, ritual, and helpfulness. Venus in your sixth house wants to love through service and build beauty through the everyday. Your desire shows up in small, consistent acts. This transit with Cancer is softening your routine and reminding you that care must go both ways. And Jupiter is showing you how devotion can become like very self-healing to you. It's a time to devote to yourself as well, and it's also a time to let love flow into your habits, because that will reflect back onto you. But a red herring is service that drains you, or perfectionism disguised as love. because true desire will feel like a rhythm that nourishes your soul, not depletes it. And so to channel your passion properly, make your rituals feel emotionally attuned to you and create beauty through healing works or acts of service, and honor the sacred within the simplicity of your life and embody that in whatever you do. With Venus in your 7th house, you long for mirrored connection, deep partnership, and shared beauty. You come alive through relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic. Sorry, Mercury's still in retrograde, if you know what I mean. And you just want to be chosen and emotionally understood no matter how that looks. And this transit with Cancer invites more vulnerability into your partnerships. Jupiter brings growth within emotional reciprocity. So you're being asked to be seen and loved as you are, not just who you are in relation to others or what you give to others. And a red herring is codependence or relationships or an idea of relationships that looks good on the surface but lacks true nourishment. And so true desire feels like being chosen again and again with emotional safety, even if you're the one choosing yourself. And so to channel this passion, seek partnerships that honor both tenderness and truth, but also respect yourself enough to not settle for any less, and let your desires be spoken, not just implied, and make your relationships like a true safe haven for emotional evolution for everybody involved. With Venus in your 8th house, you crave depth, intensity, and emotional merging. You desire intimacy that transforms you, and you want to feel fully consumed and fully safe. And so this transit in Cancer is bringing a need for softness to your intensity. Jupiter is opening doors to healing your emotional patterns around power, trust, and vulnerability. It's a time to realize where you guarding yourself in a way that truly doesn't protect you. And a red herring is obsession or emotional control in disguise. Because true power will feel like a sense of depth that doesn't devour you. It's a safe surrender. And so to channel your passion properly, explore emotional healing or trauma-informed work. Share secrets within safe spaces, whether it's with yourself or with others. Sometimes it's within yourself. You don't even want to admit things to yourself, but also let intimacy be transformative, and it doesn't have to strip you of your identity. Just remember that. With Venus in your 9th house, you express passion through philosophy, belief, expansion in any way, getting out of your comfort zone, or possibly inspiration. You want a life of meaning, truth, and expansion. You love through learning and exploration. This transit with Cancer is asking you to emotionally anchor your beliefs. Jupiter is supporting dreams that come from your heart's truth, not just your ideals that you think you need to believe in. And a red herring is a belief that disconnects you from your emotional reality. And so really gauge when you're pursuing something, does this make my heart sing, or do I feel like a pit in my stomach? Because true desire feels like a path that feeds both your soul and your heart. And to properly channel this passion, let your philosophy reflect your lived emotional experience, and teach or share from a place of feeling, not just knowing, but also create meaning that includes your emotional body. And when you do this, it'll reflect back onto you, and you can create more beauty within your life. With Venus in your 10th house, you crave recognition, mastery, and alignment between what you love and how you're seen or what you achieve. Your desire is deeply tied to legacy in some way, to create a life and a reputation that reflects your values, aesthetics, and emotional truth. And this could be on a grand scale, but it could just mean achieving, and it doesn't really come with the fluff of fame or anything like that. So take what resonates with that. You want your work to feel meaningful, beautiful, and like a reflection of your heart. And the Cancer energy happening right now is warming your public image with emotional authenticity. Jupiter is helping you expand into roles where your tenderness, creativity, or values can be honored at scale in addition to whatever other duties you have. And so this is a moment to bring care and soul into your ambitions, not just what you build, but how and why you build. A red herring is chasing achievement or prestige for the sake of approval. If it feels cold or performative, it likely doesn't belong to you. And true desire feels like emotional fulfillment through responsibility. It's when leadership, visibility, or success serves the heart and not overshadows it. And so to properly channel this passion, anchor your career moves or your legacy moves, whatever resonates with the 10th house, in something emotionally real to you, whether it's a memory, a value, or a long-held dream. And let your authority include softness and compassion, because this is a form of power as well. But also let your reputation speak for your values, not just your competence, because it's when you do that that you'll find whatever your goal is, it will start to take off. With Venus in your 11th house, you desire connection, community, and visionary co-creation. Your joy comes alive when you're dreaming towards a future with others or society, whether through activism, collaboration, or shared creativity. You're fueled by the feeling of what you love, and this can ripple outward and change the world. The Cancer energy at this time is turning your abstract hopes into emotionally charged dreams that you can now bring into reality. Jupiter is expanding your ability to magnetize community or societal impact through shared values and soft leadership. You're not just attracting allies, or you're not just attracting like your place in society, you're becoming a beacon for cause, a dream, and a movement that has true heart. A red herring, though, is chasing validation through popularity or trendiness. If a group or a cause isn't truly yours, it'll leave you feeling drained, trust me. And true desire feels nourishing, and it's reciprocated because your voice matters and your presence is felt, and there's so much room for truth in whatever you do. And so to properly channel this passion, invest in collaborations that feel emotionally aligned, not just strategic, and let your visions include people, not just outcomes, and let your digital or social presence reflect the beauty and vulnerability of your inner world, not just like what people see on the outside. And it's when you do this that you'll truly see your success and your dreams come to life. And with Venus in your 12th house, your desires are often hidden, dreamy, or spiritual. You long for soul connection, divine beauty, and emotional surrender, but may not always know how to articulate that. You're drawn to subtle realms, whether dreams, intuition, music, mysticism, secret loves, or sacrifices made for something higher. And this Cancer energy is inviting you to trust those emotional currents, even the hidden ones that you're kind of scared of, because Jupiter wants you to expand through softness, through the unseen, and through quiet magic. You don't have to show your passion to honor it. This is a moment to let your inner world bloom and guide your outer choices. But a red herring is romanticizing what's available, unattainable, or rooted in self-abandonment. And so if your desire requires erasing your needs, it's not really true to you, because true desire nourishes your inner life. It feels like returning to something ancient and private inside you, not escaping your current self. And so to properly channel this passion, which can help you create a world that you dream of, protect your sacred time and space for dreaming, creating, and feeling, and use solitude to reconnect with what feels beautiful to you, not just the world. And let anything you express when it comes from love be a sanctuary, not just like a performance. And when you do that, you'll start to see things unfolding in your life that are beyond your wildest imagination. If your natal Jupiter is in Aries, then expansion feels personal, direct, and instinctual. You grow by boldly acting on gut impulses, carving your own path, and taking risks that others might avoid. This is a life that constantly reinvents itself through new starts and pure willpower. But with Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, this transit asks you how your instincts connect with either home, family, or emotional grounding, or your innermost self. You're being asked to launch into a life from a place of internal safety, so your risks now must be emotionally aligned, not just adrenaline based or what you think you have to do. And to expand at this time, lean into intuition instead of urgency, and focus on emotional motivations, not just competition or for the sake of winning. And remember, letting yourself rest is also a brave act, and don't mistake like the chaos of action for momentum in life progress, and watch for impulsive overpromising. And remember that growth doesn't always have to be a lonely journey. You can do it with others, you can do it with yourself, but no matter what, do what resonates. If your natal Jupiter's in Taurus, you expand steadily either through comfort, value, and sensual experience. Internally, your growth is about deep contentment, patience, and cultivating peace in your life. Externally, this can look like building real tangible security, growing your finances, and savoring the rewards of consistency. But with this Cancer transit, your definition of abundance is softening a little bit. Emotional nourishment becomes a vital part of your growth. You're being asked to nurture what you build, not just what you accumulate, and to expand at this time. Connect with what feels emotionally safe, not just materially secure, and create spaces in your life, not just structure. And a few cautions at this time is to avoid stagnating in what already works. And remember that comfort isn't always true nourishment. And during this time, growth may look like softening a little bit, not just putting your walls up. And so when it comes to like accumulating in your life or what you value, you need to soften and let yourself enjoy things and embrace the nurturing side of your nature. And I promise good things will come to you. If your natal Jupiter's in Gemini, expansion comes through ideas, conversations, flexibility, and adaptability. Internally, your world grows when curiosity is alive, and externally, this looks like multiple paths, new skills, and staying in motion. And with Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, however, this transit brings a powerful emotional undertone to your curiosity. This is your chance to root knowledge in feeling and integrate scattered insight into personal, heartfelt wisdom. And to expand at this time, learn from your emotional experiences and try to speak from the heart no matter what you do, not just the mind. Make this a conscious practice and let emotional fluency guide your intellectual growth. A few things to look out for at this time is don't fall into the trap of shallow overconsumption of information, and remember that your emotions are data as well, so don't ignore them and try not to expand so wide when it comes to your interests that you forget what truly matters to you. If your natal Jupiter's in Cancer, your expansion is deep, nourishing, and emotional in nature or based on your passions. Internally, you need to grow by feeling everything fully, and externally, this expansion may come through home or family or caretaking or creating a safe space for others. But at the very least, no matter your family dynamic, it comes from living and being from a place of emotional resonance. And this Venus-Jupiter conjunction is your transit since it is your Jupiter return. It enhances your natural gift for intuitive expansion, giving you a powerful window to manifest at this time. And so you can grow most strongly now by honoring your emotional wisdom and trusting the cyclical nature of growth. Value the ups and the downs equally at this time. And to expand, prioritize emotional healing and grow your roots before you reach out and try to overextend yourself, because your softness is your power. So lean into it and be wary of over-identifying with either caretaking or making sure others are okay. And don't let nostalgia mask a fear of change. And above all, honor your own needs first, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's when you fill your own cup that you can create whatever it is you want. If your natal Jupiter's in Leo, expansion feels big, bold, and self-expressive in some way. You grow by stepping into your role as a creator, a leader, or someone that others look for or look to for vision. And internally, expansion means being proud and lit up in whatever you pursue. And externally, it often involves visibility and using your creative power in a direction that brings you joy. And this Venus-Jupiter Cancer transit, however, is asking for a more heart-centered expansion. It teaches you to shine from a place of emotional truth, not just from performance or trying to achieve results. So your nourishment must now match your visibility. And to expand at this time, let your creativity reflect your emotional reality in some way. Share your inner world as part of your outer glow and lead with compassion, not just charisma. And be careful not to confuse validation with real growth. And rest your ego when needed. And remember that authenticity feeds expansion more than applause ever will. And so be authentic even if nobody's clapping, and don't do something just because they are clapping. If your natal Jupiter's in Virgo, your expansion comes through order, service, humility, and dedication. Internally, you grow by refining your skills and inner world. Externally, it may look like mastering a craft, being of use to others, or building healthy routines. And this Cancer transit brings a new focus to the emotional wisdom behind your service. This is a time to nourish your inner caretaker and recognize how feelings can and should guide your purpose, and to expand at this time, focus on expanding your capacity to receive, not just give, and let healing happen through your rituals, and recognize that emotional intelligence can be an incredibly powerful tool that you can use in anything you pursue. A few cautions at this time, though, is don't shrink yourself through perfectionism, because overgiving is not the same as growing, and trust that healing can be messy, and that's okay. And it's when you embrace this that you can truly create whatever you want. If your natal Jupiter's in Libra, expansion feels harmonious, balanced, coming through relationships, beauty, and diplomacy, or at least making sure that all sides of the coin are looked at. Internally, this looks like a quest for harmony, but externally, expansion often looks like partnerships or aesthetics or creating justice in whatever it is you do, and you can do a lot of things with your life. But with Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, this transit activates a need for emotional reciprocity. Growth now comes from relationships or pursuits that truly feed you back, not just the ones that are smoothing you over or that you smooth over just for the sake of peace. And to expand at this time, seek out connections that feel emotionally safe, or seek out pursuits that feel emotionally safe, and make sure you leave room for your own needs within whatever you pursue, and let your beauty stem from honesty. A few warnings, though, is don't sacrifice your own growth for the sake of peace, and remember that being liked isn't the same as being truly loved, but also be wary of emotional codependence as you expand within your life. And it's when you do this, you can truly create whatever you want. If your natal Jupiter's in Scorpio, expansion comes through intensity, depth, and transformation. Internally, you grow by facing what others avoid. Externally, it may involve financial merging, emotional alchemy, or deep power work, so take what resonates. And this Cancer transit, however, activates the emotional vulnerability behind your transformations. Growth now happens through softness, surrender, and the intimacy of being truly seen in whatever it is that you do. To expand at this time, open up emotionally, not just psychologically, and use this powerful portal to deepen trust and nurture what has already been reborn inside you. A word of caution, though, is avoid trying to control your way through this growth, because emotional suppression won't serve you. And remember that love is a form of transformation too, and it requires so much softness. So let your inner world be seen, because that is where the true power is. If your natal Jupiter's in Sagittarius, your expansion feels like freedom, wisdom. It could be travel related, but not necessarily. But at the very least, it's truth seeking and loves to leave its comfort zone. Internally, growth is fueled by belief and boundless openness. Externally, it looks like world experience, education, and a big picture vision. But with this Cancer transit, it's all about emotional foundation for your beliefs. This is a time to come home to your values and rooting your faith within feeling. To expand at this time, let internal alignment guide your external exploration. Try traveling inward before leaping outward, and integrate your experiences with a new level of emotional maturity. A few things to look out for is to avoid escapism through constant motion, and remember that your truth isn't the only one out there. So ground your inspiration in real world impact, and let your feelings, above all else, guide you home. If your natal Jupiter's in Capricorn, expansion comes through either effort, structure, discipline, and delayed gratification. You want to take your time and sort of like build a plan whenever you do something. And internally, you grow through ambition, even if it's just ambition for something small and menial in your everyday life. But externally, it looks like legacy, responsibility, and earned respect or earned results. But with this Cancer transit, it's all about the emotional why behind your drive, because growth must now consider nourishment and caring for yourself, not just success, because one without the other is going to be unsustainable. And so to expand at this time, tend to your emotional body like it is a part of your goal or like it is productive, and let gentleness coexist with responsibility, but also build systems within your life that truly nourish and care for you. But a word of caution at this time is don't burn out for the sake of achievement, and remember that emotional suppression will stunt your expansion at this time, because this is a powerful time to learn that success isn't the same as true fulfillment, and to prioritize yourself above all else along the way, and that's where true success can be derived. If your natal Jupiter is in Aquarius, expansion comes through either innovation, community, and freedom from the norms, so take what resonates with that. Internally, you grow by breaking molds, and externally, it looks like connection to causes, future visions, and social experimentation. And with Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, however, this transit activates the emotional authenticity beneath your ideals. It's time to ground your rebellion or your causes in feeling, and let your heart guide your big ideas first. To expand at this time, you need to balance your collective change with personal care, and let intimacy support your vision, but also try to innovate from a heart-centered place, and because that's where the best ideas will come at this time. But a few things to watch out for is don't emotionally detach for the name of progress, because isolation doesn't mean you're free, and isolation doesn't make things better, because this transit is all about the power of feeling. So remember to feel first and then make change second, and that's how change can best be made. And if your natal Jupiter's in Pisces, expansion feels mystical, spiritual, dreamlike, maybe artistic, but if anything, it feels like a flow of energy. Internally, you grow through surrender. Externally, it may look like a creative flow, empathy, and intuitive trust in life in some way. And with Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, this transit is a powerful moment for healing of your emotional self. It merges divine love with human care, giving you a chance to feel what you're creating. To expand at this time, you need to anchor your dreams within emotional safety, and let your spiritual expansion begin right at home, but also create from your softness and from your flow of information, not just imagination. And a few cautions at this time is to remember that boundaries are not blocks for you. They are just necessary for you to maintain your flow in life. But also be wary of escapism that can mimic a divine flow. And remember that expansion isn't always super ethereal. It's not always super woo-woo. It can be soft or slow, and it can be very grounded in reality, but just as beautiful. And when you remember that, you can create whatever it is you want. With natal Jupiter in the first house, your path to expansion is through self-discovery and owning your authenticity, fueled by your emotional desires of this conjunction. You grow by stepping into a bigger version of yourself, and opportunities arise through leadership and taking action on impulses that feel true to you. With this conjunction in Cancer, your growth is rooted in emotional belonging and inner safety. And so to truly expand, let your confidence bloom from self-care and emotional self-acceptance. Speak and act as if you're already being taken care of, not just to be admired, and use your presence not to impress, but to heal or uplift. Just be mindful of zooming into your ego without emotional roots, of self-importance disguised as growth, and of overextending yourself to prove something. If your natal Jupiter's in the second house, you expand by building security, whether it's within your finances, your values, or your sense of self-worth. Internally, this means knowing your worth, while externally, it looks like tangible material growth and express self-confidence in some way. This conjunction links your abundance directly to emotional nourishment, reminding you that your worth is about what makes your heart feel safe. And so to truly expand, invest in what gives you both security and joy. Consider wealth as emotional as well as financial, and create resources from your heart space, not just for profit or results. Just be mindful of equating money or possessions with self-love, clinging to comfort when you're craving growth, and defining your worth only by material results, because it's so much more than that. If your natal Jupiter is in the 3rd house, then growth comes through communication, learning, and local interaction. Internally, you expand through ideas and curiosity, but externally, it's through writing, speaking, and connecting with others or your environment in some way. The conjunction's energy helps you to deepen conversations with emotional resonance, teaching you that real connection deserves both the heart and the mind. And so to truly expand, let your curiosity be emotionally informed. Share your story as well as your thoughts, and use your communication to create belonging in your environment. And just be mindful of surface level chatter that drains you, intellectualizing your emotions in some way, or scattering your focus across too many topics, because this can really hinder you from your growth. If your natal Jupiter is in the 4th house, you expand either through home, roots, or inner security in some way, or learning about your past. That's another way. Internally, expansion means feeling safe within, while externally, it means creating a physical home or revisiting your emotional foundation to really grow from it. The conjunction puts a spotlight on building emotional safety from the inside out. It's just not about what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside too. And so to truly expand, focus on healing within your ancestral or family lines in some way, but also create emotional maturity through your environment or domestic rituals, and let your inner world be super rich and really dive deep even into the tough things, not just the things that are functional, but also be mindful of fixating on nostalgia or defensiveness disguised as tradition, and resisting changes that invite deeper growth. That this is about letting yourself feel fully and letting whatever changes that come with that follow. If your natal Jupiter is in the 5th house, your expansion is fueled through creativity or romance or joy or self-expression in some way. The conjunction's nurturing energy helps you turn pleasure into true nourishment, whether it's play that heals your soul or love that softens you. Your creative expression now roots in emotional safety. And so to truly expand, create from emotional truth, not just to perform or because you think you have to, and let pleasure be restful, not just exciting, and use creativity to express and process your emotion at this time, however that looks for you. Just be mindful of superficial entertainment that leaves you feeling empty or chasing recognition through flamboyance in some way, but also confusing drama for like a sense of emotional depth, because true depth will resonate super deeply for you, and you will know when you feel it because you will feel so relaxed. If your natal Jupiter is in the 6th house, you grow through service, routine, health, your habits, your work, or your day-to-day life, and expanding by making your daily life meaningful and aligned with true purpose. This conjunction helps you to nurture your well-being through your emotional habits, not just your ability to create tasks or to complete them, and reminds you that service becomes soulful when your feelings are being honored above all else. And so to truly expand, blend daily care with emotional awareness, and use your emotions as a guide to let you know how to spend your day. And let self-care be a part of your service, but also use routines as loving rituals. Just be mindful of overworking in the name of utility or usefulness, ignoring your emotional burnout indicators, and perfectionism that silences your softer needs, because it's when you do that you can truly create anything. If your natal Jupiter is in the 7th house, you expand either through partnership, maybe marriage if that's relevant, but also one-on-one relationships of any nature. And this conjunction focuses on emotional reciprocity, that give and take that nurtures both people involved in any situation, whether it's in your imagination or in the real world. Because partnerships now heal and expand both sides emotionally for you. And so to truly expand, seek partnerships that feel super reciprocal. They got to give just as much as you give, and collaborate from a place of shared vulnerability, but also let your relationships reflect your emotional needs. But also be mindful of codependence, losing yourself in others or what you pair with, and flattery that lacks real depth or emotional fulfillment. And it's when you do that you'll see that things reflect back better to you, and you can truly create what you want. With natal Jupiter in the 8th house, your internal expansion comes through deep emotional and psychological intimacy, while externally, you may attract resources through meaning with others. You grow through the things in life that you can't control, and you truly learn from them. The conjunction's nurturing energy helps you to soften defenses around vulnerability and learn how to receive emotional support from a true level. And to truly expand at this time, dive into your own psychology and let grief or any intense emotions be a portal. Whether through therapy, shadow work, and intimacy with self and others, this will help clear space for aligned abundance. Just be mindful of confusing intense chemistry with real opportunity or emotional manipulation or of secrecy when honesty would serve you better. So these are just things to look out for. With Jupiter in the 9th house, you may expand through belief systems, learning about like the big world ahead of you or your long-term vision and spiritual understanding. And the conjunction wants you to connect your quest for truth with true emotional wisdom, asking you not to just study belief systems, but to feel into what's emotionally right for you. To truly expand at this time, trust your inner moral compass and let curiosity lead, but always check in with your heart before you do anything. Learning environments that feel safe and emotionally aligned with you will really propel you to your next big step in life, which can help you create whatever it is you want. So just be mindful, though, of spiritual bypassing or rigid ideologies, or of thinking that just because something feels big doesn't mean that it's right, but also balance freedom with commitment at this time, because you can do both, and doing both will help you to like sort of garner your discipline in the right direction to create whatever it is you want. If your natal Jupiter is in the 10th, then your internal expansion comes from stepping into your role in the world, however that looks, whether it's through ambition, legacy, and purpose that moves you forward. While externally, this can manifest as career advancement, public visibility, leadership roles, or just being ambitious in general. And the conjunction brings a need for softness within your drive, calling you to lead from a place of care and emotional intelligence. And so to truly expand at this time, align your public path with your true emotional values and ask yourself what kind of ancestor you want to be to future generations if you have kids. If not, ask what you want to be known for when you pass, as dark as that sounds, but also let success be a reflection of your soul's integrity, not just about what you achieve on the outside. But just be mindful of equating visibility with worth, or overextending to prove something to the world, and prioritizing applause over your inner compass, because it's when you do that I promise you, in an interesting way, you will see the results reflecting back onto you. With your natal Jupiter in the 11th house, your internal expansion comes through collective vision and futuristic ideas, or maybe like outside groups. It's about society or larger groups that you're exposed to in your life. But externally, you are fueled by innovation and community and truly making an impact on the world, or at least letting your dreams come true. And the conjunction helps you to tune into the emotional core of your ideals, asking you to build impact or community, whatever resonates with you, rooted in care, not just like an idea. And so to truly expand, make space for belonging, either for yourself or for others, and let your vision nourish everybody involved, but also let others nourish you within that. It's not just about what you give, it's about give and receive, and align with people and movements that reflect your soul's true values. It's when you do that I promise you, you'll start to see results and growth in your life that can help you create whatever it is you want. Just be mindful of spreading yourself too thin, or confusing popularity with like resonance or being on the right path, and of emotional detachment that masks a true sense of loneliness. And it's when you feel that you have to sort of listen to your emotional barometer and go in a different direction. And if your natal Jupiter's in the 12th house, your internal expansion comes through the unseen, whether it's spiritual practice, solitude, creativity, or surrender. It's sort of like the transcendent parts of life. While it's more internal of a placement, this placement can bring unexpected blessings behind the scenes. The conjunction's energy will soften your inner world, encouraging emotional release and intuitive restoration. You'll finally maybe be able to listen to your gut feelings, or maybe your gut feelings will become clearer at the very least. It's a powerful time for forgiveness, ancestral healing, and divine connection. And so to truly expand at this time, prioritize quiet space. Let your emotions teach you, whether through dreams, intuition, and rest, because these aren't distractions. These are your guides, and these are kind of your compass. And so allow yourself to heal in invisible ways. Just be mindful of isolating or romanticizing suffering or escapism, and of a need to stay rooted even as you float. And so if you're able to truly channel your intuitive wisdom and really embrace it from an emotional level, you'll start to see great things unfold in your life at this time, which could help you create the life of your dreams.